Hey y'all, it's Queen, and I want to touch on a subject: setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is so important in any relationship that you have. It's like drawing a line in the sand. You are defining what is acceptable when you interact with others. Whether it's a friend, a family member, a romantic partner, or a coworker, it is important to set boundaries. When they cross those boundaries, it's important to step back and reevaluate the relationship that you have with the individual. When you do not address boundaries that are being crossed, you leave room for repetitive, messed up behavior that you're not trying to deal with from individuals. If someone continuously criticizes or disrespects your boundaries, then it is time to think about eliminating them or from your life or pulling yourself away from them. When boundaries are crossed, you want to pull yourself away from that person and assess the situation, evaluate whether or not the behavior has changed. Because if the behavior has not changed and they lack the ability to self-reflect or apologize, apologies without changed behavior is just manipulation. So why would you continue to deal with that person? So it's important, if someone crosses boundaries that you set in place, to take a step back and assess the situation. You also want to take your feelings from out of it to be able to think clearly. Sometimes, because you might have, for instance, in relationships, you might have a soul tie to somebody. So they'll continuously cross your boundaries because they know that, they are able to reel you back in with either future faking, words of affirmation, or acts of service. And you don't want to continue to allow that person to be in your life and manipulate you in that manner. So it's important to step back and think about how they've crossed those boundaries and whether or not you should be allowing them still in your space to have your time and your energy. Not everybody deserves your time and your energy, okay? Time and energy is priceless, and those are two things that you will not get back in this life. And you don't want to have to be dealing with mental illness or mental issues after a situation, especially a romantic situation, because you're dealing with grief. A lot of us see the red flags, they be flagging, but we ignore them and we allow people to overstep those boundaries. And once they see that you continuously allow them to disrespect you and overstep your boundaries, then the disrespect increases and increases. When you step back from that person, it allows you to see, do their actions match their words? Never go based off of a person's words, because a person will give you word play and word talk all day. They will future fake and they'll make all these promises of what they'll do, but their actions never align with the things that they're telling you. So you want to be mindful of allowing that space to be able to show you whether or not their actions are actually genuine. Everyone deserves grace and mercy again when it's time to forgive, but it is important and very imperative to see that the behavior has changed. A lot of people will future fake and promise that the behavior will change and still continuously do the same stuff and not change the behavior because they want to still have access to you. And that's not fair to you. So why don't you pull yourself away from them and give time and space to see, has the behavior actually changed? Time and energy are valuable resources that should not be taken for granted, and you should not just give them away to just anyone. If others continuously show disregard for your well-being and your emotional state, it's important to pull yourself away from them type of people. Sometimes when we're too emotionally invested in someone or in a situation, it will make our decision making distorted. It will actually cause us sometimes to go against reality, and in return go with the illusion that that person is trying to present to us, especially if they're a manipulator or a gaslighter. Sometimes we feel like we can't live without certain people or having certain connections, but that's not always true. When you give space between you and that person, it allows you to see whether or not they added any kind of value to your life, or do you actually miss them? Because if they were creating more harm and hurt than peace, and joy, then what's the point of having them around still? Actions always speak louder than words, and consistent positive behavior ensures that that person genuinely wants a place or a spot in your life. Ultimately, the decision to let someone back into your life is based off of genuine remorse and corrected behavior. Remember to prioritize your well-being, because you get to decide who you allow in your life, and you get to decide your overall health and well-being based off of the connections that you have and the people surrounding you. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to let go of toxic behaviors and people and embrace those that bring you joy and elevate you. I hope this message resonates in your spirit and is helpful to you. Be blessed.